G'day. Looking back at the second example now with integration and problem solving. The last question we looked at was all about finding integration in terms of looking at an example where we have those definite integrals and nothing to do with indefinite integrals. In this example here, we're going to have the indefinite integrals. So we're looking for initial conditions to help us solve for those C's. A lot of times those questions are quite easy to find out, but other times you actually have to look at the question itself to find out, well, what initial conditions are they talking about? So let's have a look at this question we have on the board here, so we can try and nut out those initial conditions to help us solve questions. So we've got the marginal profit for producing X dinner plates per week is given by the function P-X is equal to 15 minus $0.03 per plate. If no plates are made, then a loss of $650 each week occurs. So the first question it wants us to do is find the profit function, so find the integral of this, and then what is the maximum profit when does this occur? Alrighty, so the first thing we want to do here is we want to find the profit function. So we need to work out what is the integral of 15 minus 0.03x. So we get into this part here where we integrate it. So therefore when we integrate it, we get 15x minus 0.03x squared over 2 plus c. So this is what P of x is equal to. This is what I was talking about before. We've got this constant integration here that we don't want to have. We want to find out what that is. And the only way that we can really find that out in terms of these problems is to try and fit in some initial conditions. When we look at this question here, we've got some initial conditions. It says here, if we have no plates, then we have a loss of $650 each week. Well, we're in terms of plates here. So we could say, well, when we have 0 plates, we're going to have $650 debt. So all I want to do here now is to plug these two values into my P of x to find out my C. So I would have 15 times 0 minus 0.03 times 0 squared over 2 plus C is equal to negative 650. Well, that's going to give me 0, that's going to give me 0, so therefore C is going to give me 650. So my final answer for P of x now is equal to 15x minus 0.03 x squared over 2 minus 650. So there is my function for the profit in terms of the plates. Part 2 of this question is then saying, well, what is the maximum profit and when does this occur? Well, we know we can find the maximum profit when we equate our derivative to 0. So if we write up here, part B, maximum profit is when our derivative is equal to 0. Well, we have that up here. So we have 15 minus 0.03x is equal to 0. So we're solving for x now. So x is going to tell us the number of plates. Bring the 15 across is equal to negative 15, and if I divide by 0.03, I get approximately 500. So I'm going to get 500 plates. So the maximum profit occurs when I sell 500 plates. Well, how much profit do I get? Because it's asking us, when does this occur? Okay, so if we look at this in terms of where it occurs, we now start looking at plugging this into our function here. Because this is telling us how much profit we're making. So if we sell 500 plates, we then plug this into this equation. 15 500 minus 0.03 500 squared over 2 minus 650. So let's get a calculator out. Let's put that in together. So we've got 15 brackets 500 minus 0.0 brackets 500 squared over 2, close those brackets, minus 650. We get approximately $3,100 profit. So in this question here, that we've been told that if we sell 500 plates, we're going to make a profit of $3,100. So what have we done in this question here? We've looked at and analysed what the question's saying to us. We're starting off with a derivative, but we need to find the integral of that to get the profit function. We get our profit function, but we notice, hang on, we've got a c here. We can't have this c here because we want to try and work out what the entire function is going to be. So we come back to the question and we highlight, well, do we have any initial conditions? Well, we do. If there is 0 plates, we lose $650. So there's our initial conditions. We can plug that in and we get our profit function. We then use this profit function and our dollars per derivative to help us work out what the maximum profit is going to be. We find out that if it's maximum, we've got to equate it to 0 with our derivative. And that's what we've done up here. And then we use our x value into the profit function to work out how much money actually is saved or earned. We'll look at the third example in the next video. But until then, good luck.